Today, I will teach you how to solve a Pyraminx. Hey everyone, SpeedyGoneCuber here, and I will be showing you a simple step-by-step method for solving the Pyraminx. The good news is, this method doesn't include any algorithms. It's completely intuitive, and here is my tutorial on how to solve a Pyraminx. Now, if at any point in this video you feel like I'm going too fast, then I recommend pausing the video so you understand as much details and information as possible. The first step, you've got to subscribe and turn the notification bell. Only joking, but make sure to do that if you haven't already. The first step for solving the Pyraminx is solving the tips. To do this step, figure out which tip you want to solve. Now, a tip is the corner part of a Pyraminx, so we could use this one, or this one, or this one, or this one. In this example, I'll go with the red, blue, and yellow corner. So when I move it, notice how, as I move it, eventually the tip will be solved. And the way we know it's solved is we've got the blue matching with the blue, the yellow matching with the yellow, and the red matching with the red. Now for this one, we're gonna turn it, and does it align? No, it does not. And just once more, and then we have all the colors aligning. Now we're going to try that with the remaining two. So with this one we could try, and it's solved, and this one we can try, and we're done. So now every tip of the Pyraminx is solved. We can now move on to step 2. The second step is solving the centers of the blue side. To do this, find any blue piece. In this case, I could choose this one, or this one, and I'm going to go for this one. For this one, what I'm firstly going to do is I'm going to hold the blue piece in any different angle. It doesn't matter which angle I choose. I'm going to hold it on the bottom right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the right face as much as I need it to do until the center aligns. So now we've got two blue centers that align. Now we're going to try this with the next face, which is the top face. So we're going to keep turning the top face until we have a blue that aligns. And for now, ignoring this edge, I'm just going to move it out for this scenario. So now you should have all the three blues being solved. Here was a slightly more difficult example. So let's say I wanted to solve this blue and hold it on the right, and then I'm going to turn the right face, and there we go, we've got a blue. Now you'll probably notice that I'm going to try to turn the upper face, and then when I'm turning it, there's no blue. So as you can see, we've just got yellow, green, and red. There isn't a blue center. So when we do this, don't panic, because all we need to do is just move the other blue, and we'll find the other blue is probably down here. So to be able to solve it from here, you're going to move this blue piece in such a way that would move it to somewhere else. And then once that's there, we can then carry on as normal. So we can hold this on the left and then try to turn the right side, and there we go. Now we can turn the top face, and there we go. Once you have all three blue centers solved on a side, we can now move on to step 3. The third step is solving the edges of the blue side. So you'll probably notice that when we've got 3 different blues, we just need to get 3 more blue pieces into here, and then we've got an entire blue layer. Firstly, we're going to hold the blue face on the bottom and look for any blue piece we can find in the top layer. As you can see, there's actually 2, so we're going to choose whichever one we want, and in this case, I'm going to choose the red one. Now on the Pyraminx, this is what we call an edge piece, and an edge piece has 2 colors on them. We're now going to align the blue and red edge piece by turning this until red is going to match with red, and that tells us that the blue and red edge piece needs to go right down here into its blue slot. Since the red part of the edge piece is aligning on the left side of the puzzle, we're going to move the right side up, and we're going to line it up and bring it back down. And then the piece is solved in its position. Then we're going to look for another edge piece in the top layer, and I see this one. It's the blue and yellow edge piece. So I'm going to turn it until the yellows are going to match, and as you can see, there we go, the yellow pieces align. So since the yellow is aligning on the right, we're going to move the left side up, and then we're going to move it over, and now the blue's matching, we're going to bring it back down, and the piece is solved in its position. Now we've just got one more edge piece to solve, and it is this one. So this one, exact same process. We're going to make sure the greens are going to align. There we go. Since it's on the left, we're going to move the right side up and move the top face and bring the right side down. Congratulations, you've solved the entire blue layer. A tricky example you may encounter sometimes when solving the blue face is you might find in the top layer and you see no blue pieces in the top layer. Now in this case, try to find a blue piece in the bottom layer that is either flipped or in the wrong position. As you can see, we have one over here. It's flipped, but we don't know how to take it out. So to take it out, just find another piece in the top layer that we want to pretend that needs to go in here, and that will push this piece out. I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. So we're going to look for the red and yellow piece, and let's say we're going to pretend that the red and yellow piece needs to go in here. So we're going to align it, let's say, and then we're going to move the left side up, move it over and bring it down. Now what that has done is it's actually pushed the blue and yellow piece out, where we can now, you know, align, make sure the yellows are going to match, and just repeat as normal. So move the right side up, move the blue piece over, and bring it back down, and it's solved. Now to make sure you know that this is definitely solved, just make sure that you have an entire layer rather than a full blue side, and we can now move on to the fourth step. Now step 4 is the most exciting step out of all of these, which is solving all the sides of the Pyraminx. The good news is this is really easy, and it's actually just repeating the same steps which we've done before. So to solve the last layer, essentially what we're going to do is we're going to match up the top face until we have the greens matching with the green side, the yellows on the yellow side, the reds on the red side, and so on. Now that we've done this, we can now move on to any other color. So we've got the choice of red, yellow, and green. In this case, I'm going to choose yellow. Because I've chosen yellow, I'm going to put yellow on the bottom like what we did for blue. Do we have a yellow piece in the top layer? And we have this one. We actually don't need to move it or match it, because we can actually see that the yellow piece is already having the green matching with the green. So that means that it needs to go right below here. So since the yellow and green edge piece is on the left side of the Pyraminx, we're going to move the right side up, move the piece over, and bring it back down. And the piece is solved. Now we've got our final yellow piece. It's the yellow and red edge piece. So we can move the bottom layer and keep doing that. Now that is matching, since it's on the right side of the cube, we can then move the left side up, move the piece over, and bring it back down. And now it's solved. Now we're going to do the exact same thing as we did before. Let's make sure that we've got the centers aligning on each side. And in this case, it's a very useful skill to actually choose the easiest color. Now, in this case, I'm going to choose to do green. So to do green, I'm going to hold green on bottom. And as you can see, when we look in the top face, no matter where we look, there are no green edge pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this green up and pretend this piece needs to go in here. So I'm going to move it up, move the yellow and red piece over, that pushes out the other piece, and then bring it back down. And then we can do the exact same thing. So we can make sure the reds are going to match up, move the left side up, move the upper face, and move the left side down. Now in this case, I'm going to do yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend this piece needs to go in here like so. Now I'm going to move the piece over like so, and now the reds are aligning. And then I can bring it up, move the red piece over, and bring it back down. And there we go. After a few tries at this, the whole top layer is solved. And then to solve the Pyraminx, we're just one move away. And congratulations on solving the Pyraminx. Here is an example solve. So just a quick walkthrough to make sure you understand everything I've done in this video. First step is to solve all the tips. So I'm going to solve this one, and it's solved. Now I'm going to solve this one, and now I'm going to solve the yellow, blue, and green one, and now I'm going to try and solve this one, and now we have all our tips solved. So again, I'm going to solve the blue side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this on the right. I'm going to try and move the top layer. There we go, we've got 2. And then I notice over here there aren't any blues up here. So I'm going to move this one in such a way so that when it's down here, I can do the exact same process. So bring this one down so it's matching up, and then keep turning this layer until we've got a blue. Now we've got all our center pieces solved. So now we can turn it over, and now we can carry on with the edges. So to solve the edges, I'm going to solve this piece first, and I'm going to make sure it aligns with the red. There we go. And I'm going to move the left side up since it's on the right, and then I'm going to match up the blue and then bring it down. Now I'm going to try with this one, and I notice the yellow pieces are already matching. So that's great. That just means I can solve it straight away. So I can move the right side up, move it over to solve it, and then bring it back down. Now we have our final piece, which is the blue and green. So I can move it and they don't match. and now they do match. So since it's on the right, I'm going to move the left side up, move the piece over, and bring it back down. And we actually got a whole last layer skip. But considering last layer skips don't happen much of the time, I'm going to slightly mess up the step to do a last layer example. Okay, so let's say the last layer looked like this. What we would do is we would firstly align the centers for each side. Then I would choose one of my favorite colors. Let's go with yellow. So I'm going to solve this yellow and green. There we go. And now since it's on the right, I'm going to move the left side up, move the upper face over, and then bring it back down. Then I'm going to try with this piece, and since it's got yellow and red on it, I'm going to move it to the red side and then bring the left face up, bring the upper face over, and bring the left face down. Now we can try this a third time. So I'm going to, how about do the green side? So for the green side, I'm going to solve this piece and make sure the blues are going to align. And now let's move the left side up, move the upper face over to solve it, and then let's bring the left side down. Now we're going to try with our final piece, and we can see that it's already aligning with the reds. That means the piece needs to go into here, so we're going to move the right side up, upper face over, and bring it back down. And now it's solved. And now we've solved the last layer, and that was our example solved. Now, if there was something I went through in this tutorial that you didn't quite understand, I would recommend trying to watch this video a couple times so you know exactly how to solve the Pyraminx. But anyway, I hope you guys solved the Pyraminx. Thank you all so much for watching this tutorial. If you managed to solve the Pyraminx from watching this tutorial, make sure to like the video and let me know in the comments. And if you haven't already done so, I would highly recommend that you consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell for weekly videos about Rubik's Cubes. Thank you all for watching, and happy cubing!